So we got new goldfish. One of them was unreasonably jiggly. Just look at the jiggly cheeks on this thing. And then they laid a lot of eggs all over the tank. Then we had an ammonia spike. So I did a water change to clean the eggs out. I gave them one methylene blue salt bath. And now we're here today. Again, they're looking a little lethargic. I also wanted to let you guys know that the goldfish plushies are now available for pre-order. I'm going to have regular ones available, and I'm also going to have ones that are personally autographed by me available. These were originally Tubby Toby plushies, but Tubby Toby changed his colors, and he looks nothing like this now, and it honestly looks a lot like my original goldfish, Nubbin. He's actually the one that's in my logo, so I might start remarketing towards being a Nubbin plushie. I'm not sure. Enough of the shameless plug, back to the video. So yeah, again, I looked at the goldfish. They were looking a little lethargic, and I did an ammonia test on the tank, and there was still a little bit of ammonia in there, much less than the day before, but there still was some. So I did put, about 1/4 teaspoon of Seachem Safe, and this actually helps detoxify the ammonia and the nitrite temporarily. And then again, I also decided I wanted to do another methylene blue salt bath. How do I make the methylene blue salt bath? Well, first I get a 5-gallon pail and I fill it up about halfway-ish with either tank water or aged water that's the same temperature as the tank water. I then put 1 tablespoon per gallon of aquarium salt into the bucket. I mix that up so that dissolves, and then I add, between 1/4 and 1/2 teaspoon of methylene blue per gallon into this bucket as well. We then get our massive jiggly aquatic nuggets and we put them into the bath. I'm actually thinking of having a live YouTube video going on either tonight or tomorrow night where we'll be naming this girl right here, and the top gifter will get the privilege to choose the name. And I'm also going to have it just like last time where people can bid towards different names, and whichever name ends up getting the highest bid, that'll be the name for this girl. I've heard a lot of people saying they want to have her be named Jigglypuff because she's very jiggly and she's very puffy. So we'll see which name gets the most donations tonight or tomorrow night. Also, a little information on Millie Bobby Goldfish II over here. I gave her a light squeeze on her belly yesterday, and she actually had eggs too, and I think she might have been contributing to all the eggs that are dropped in the tank because there were a ridiculous amount of eggs in there. So I think she was dropping some eggs and the other lady was also dropping eggs. That's why they were just an absurd amount. And as always, I forgot to put the air stone in there, so I put the air stone in there after the fish were in there. Also, again, I have unfortunate news about these red caps. I swear, these are the weakest red caps, the weakest goldfish I've ever kept. We lost another red cap. So now we're down to Num Nums 2.0 and Bean 2.0. And honestly, I don't think I'm going to be buying any more of these, at least from this local pet store that I've been getting them from, just because they keep dying so easily. And I don't think it's my fault because, none of my other fish are really dying or having too many problems, but these guys are just dropping like flies. So we have Num Nums 2.0, we have Bean 2.0. They seem to be doing okay, but I don't know why, their friends were just dying off so easily. I've also been feeding them pellets instead of flakes now, and I'm hoping this is going to help them pack on some more size. Again, just like last time, I left these guys in there for 30 minutes, and after that was up, I just simply transferred them back into their tank. And, I figured I already have a methylene blue salt bath here, and I have some other fish that potentially have some external, parasites. I'm not sure if these other fish have external parasites. So I figured I would just use that same methylene blue bath water, and I'd give the other goldfish a bath as well. Now, I'm not really worried about any parasites being transferred from these goldfish to the other pet store goldfish, but I am worried about the pet store goldfish potentially transferring parasites to these guys. So I did use the water they use. I used this for the pet store fish, but I would not do that in the reverse order. And after I was done with the pet store fish, I did end up wiping this down with alcohol wipes. You can see my hand is stained kind of blue around the crevices of my fingers and on my calluses. And this is something you can expect when working with methylene blue. I probably should be wearing gloves when I do all this, but I don't. But maybe I should. Also, here's an update on Jack and Jill and our 2 common goldfish. So they all seem to be doing pretty well. Jack and Jill, I feel like they still have a little bit of a cloudy haze over their eyes or over their skin a little bit. So I did end up deciding to give them methylene blue salt bath as well. I already had the bath going, and everything around here is the same temperature because I have mostly everything in here heated by the hot air. So almost everything's the same temperature in here, which is kind of convenient for things like this. And I end up feeding these guys a lot, and like I'm feeding them pellets as well, and they're eating a lot. The common goldfish, I can definitely tell, are gaining some size. I don't really know if the other guys are gaining much size at all, but definitely I've seen a little bit of growth in these common goldfish. Eventually, I do want to have a pond in my front yard, and I'm going to keep that pond out there all year long. I'm going to overwinter it, and common goldfish are very hardy fish. They can survive the wintertime just fine. So I might end up putting these guys in that pond eventually when I build that. I have no idea when I'm going to construct that. Anyways, back to our new chunky female goldfish. How are they doing after their methylene blue salt bath? Well, just like last time, they're definitely a lot more active. There's a couple times when they go in the corner and chill, but they're always swimming around a lot more after these methylene blue salt baths. Now, I don't know if this is, necessarily because, like, temporarily it heals them up a little bit, gives them a little energy, gives them a boost, or just, it's a big change of environments. They're a little freaked out, little swimming around all over the place. But regardless, it just seems like they're a lot more lively after I do these baths. I decided to give them their very first feeding today, and right off the bat, they seemed excited about the food. But I quickly realized these guys absolutely suck at finding the food, and I'm not sure if that's just because of all the reflections of the glass, like almost make it look like food is where it's not. But I dropped the food in there, and they seemed to get all excited. They were like, "Oh, I'm gonna go eat this food," and they swam like where the food wasn't at first. Like they're like looking around the back of the tank for the food. But eventually they did come by. They did start slurping it up, and this is a good sign. It's a very good sign when you dump food in a tank and the goldfish are excited and they want to go after it. This means, okay, even if they are a little stressed from their transit, they're not stressed enough to not eat, Goldfish will always want to eat, but if it's in a rough situation, very stressed, it will not want to eat. These guys definitely wanted to eat, and Miss Jiggleface over here, her face was jiggling all over the place. She was so excited to eat, took her forever to find it, but eventually she did. But yeah, this was a good sign. It's always great to see them, go after food. That's good. Also, someone said that their grandma looked like this goldfish. So everyone in the comment section, if you're still watching this video, type, "What is my grandma doing in your fish tank?" I want to confuse everyone else that didn't watch the full video. Also, I literally almost forgot about my other goldfish that were still in the bath. I went upstairs back to my room and I started heating up a cup of coffee in the microwave. And I'm like, oh my gosh, my fish, they're still in the bath. Could you imagine? They would have died. That would have been awful. But anyway, I remembered my fish. I brought them back. Always set a timer, folks. You don't want to forget your fish in your bath. Also, something I'm doing to all my tanks that currently don't have fish in there is I'm adding ammonium chloride in the tank. And when you put ammonium chloride in there, it breaks up into ammonium and chloride in the water. And that ammonium, it has a balance between ammonium and ammonia. And that feeds the beneficial bacteria that I seeded all these sponge filters with some bottled bacteria. And my goal is basically just to get all these tanks fish ready. I'm not going to be having fish in all these tanks anytime soon. I still, I have to go through the process of getting my fish from Chicago and potentially breeding those or importing a lot of new ones to sell those. But I do want to get everything ready. So once that day comes, I can just plop the fish in there and hopefully those tanks will be mostly cycled and ready to accept the bioload of those fish. This video ended up spilling over into the next day. So this is the goldfish on the next morning after everything you just saw. And, they were a little slow, but when I fed them, they were very active. So they seem to be doing pretty good. I will again give them a methylene blue salt bath today. And I did test the ammonia level in there and it did look even lower than the previous time. I did put a little bit of ammo lock, and this is like another thing that's going to help detoxify the ammonia temporarily. But my goal for this tank is just to get these guys adjusted, to get the ammonia down to 0 so they can just chill and get used to this new environment that hopefully they'll be living out a long life in. But yeah, that's all for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to buy the Tubby Toby plushie. Pre-orders now available, ships in June. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. Luke's Goldies out.